Hi, and welcome to solving the 10th problem at picoCTF 2018. This is actually the last problem that I would consider very easy. Very easy meaning that we can still get the answer by searching the internet, and also we don't really need to understand anything if we don't want to. But if you have tried to understand the topics covered so far, it will certainly help you later on. It's Crypto Warmup 2 for 75 points under the category Cryptography. And the problem is, cryptography doesn't have to be complicated. Have you ever heard of something called ROT13? And then we have some scrambled text here. And the hints here are, this can be solved online if you don't want to do it by hand. So before we go online and before we start a search on what ROT13 is, do we see what the answer could be? At least part of it? Because we should actually be able to solve this without going in on the internet at all. We are going to open a text document, but just by looking at this scrambled text, you can see that it actually looks like the typical answer that we would submit to Pico. This is our text document. I made an alphabet on top in capital letters. That's just for clarity. And then we have the scrambled text here. Now we have submitted 9 of these answers. So before we even start thinking about ROT13, what do we actually know here? Well, we know that the answer is inside these brackets, and before the answer we usually or we always have to write picoCTF, and CTF is in capital letters, so that would indicate that this actually is picoCTF. And if we actually paste that in now, I've used X's here for everything else, but picoCTF, that would kind of like be this, right? We have the 4 that are not capital and the 3 that are capital, and we've submitted 9 of these from before, so we kind of like know that part. Remember, we are on the very easy problems here, so let's not complicate things. What we can see here is that the C becomes a P, right? And the question is, do we have any more C's here? And we do. We have one here, and that becomes a P. And we have a V that becomes an I, and we have one V here and one here, right? Let's make that an I, and let's make that an I. And then we have a P, and we have a P here. Let's substitute that for a C. And then we have a B. We have one B here, which will become an O. P we have already covered. And how about G? Well, we do have a G here, which should be a T. And we also have a G here, which should also become a T. And I don't see any S's here. But so far, we only have 4 unknowns here, right? 4 X's. Actually, we have 5 X's here, to be honest. But take a look at this word here. The category we're in is crypto something, right? And the problem is Crypto Warmup 1. So if we take a wild guess here, that could actually be crypto. Like that. And then we have a 2-letter word here. And if we have substituted the letters for something else, like a C is a P, and a V is a I. We're guessing that the F is not going to become an F here. So we're stuck with in or is for now, right? And this is where we have to start thinking a little bit about the ROT13. One more thing to look at here. The C here becomes a P, right? And the P becomes a C. So there is some kind of system here. Now, ROT13, ROT is for rotate, and you're actually rotating 13 places. So if we go to the C here and we count 13, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? So the C becomes a P. And if you start counting from the P, and when you get to the Z here, you automatically start at the beginning of the alphabet again, you're going to end up at a C. So the American alphabet is 26 letters, and if you divide that, you're going to end up with something that looks like this. And we're going to adjust that a little bit. Okay, this is as good as we're going to get it here. Now, just to mention it, I was rotating 13 to the right when I was counting, but you could have just as well rotated to the left and gotten to the same letter. But what's interesting here is that the C becomes a P and the P becomes a C. So no matter what's on the top line here, it's going to become the letter that's on the bottom line and vice versa. And we have a few left here. So the U is, as of now, the X here, but the U will become an H, right? So let's substitute that for an H. And the F here, F, is going to become an S, right? So if we substitute that and an F here for an S, we actually got our answer here. This is crypto. And you can see the same thing with the R and the Y that we put in before, that also coordinates. So that's actually ROT13. It's a part of the Caesar cipher. One way to do the Caesar cipher that you can see in the resources. And it's also used a lot for jokes where you don't want the punchline right away. They'll use the ROT13 system so you can convert it yourself. Same thing with spoilers in movies. If you go in on the internet and you search what is ROT13, you're going to get a better explanation than what I gave, but it's a simple letter substitution cipher, replaces the 13th letter, and it's a special case of the Caesar cipher, and you can read all about it. You could also decode it online, of course. Let's paste in our answer here. picoCTF, this is crypto, and submit it. And that was correct. So one more down. And this was the last one of what I would call very easy, because now we actually have to start searching a little bit more for what different commands in Linux mean. But since this is the last one, we can see here we have a score of 550. And if we go in on the scoreboard, you can see that we are moving up, but we have a long way to go. Until next time.